Welcome to yet another edition of the Stats and Stacks podcast, where today we're going over UFC Abu Dhabi Whittaker versus De Ritter. First things first, make sure you smash that like button. Give a follow over on Twitter, over on Instagram, over on TikTok, wherever there's social media. There's the Stats and Stacks podcast. Last week, negative week. It is what it is. Kevin Holland absolutely fucked all of our parlays. It happens. We had one lot come through out of the two. We had one total come through out of the two. We had one dog come through out of the two. So we split across the board. Not a profitable week. But the good news is in this crazy game of MMA that we play, there's usually a chance to just start over and start anew the following week, and that is the case here. Please keep in mind that this is a card overseas, and the start time is at noon, so you got to get up early and watch it. And secondly, please keep in mind that the judging can get pretty sketchy at that part of the world. So we're going to do everything we can to avoid some of these problems that occur. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to jump into the first fight of the night. Sorry, having a few technical difficulties, but we'll slide on through. All right. Very first fight of the night. We're looking at Martin Buday at plus 235 going up against a newcomer, Marcus Buchecha at minus 290. Over under set at 1.5. Over 1.5 is minus 120. Under 1.5 at minus 110. Let's start with the proven commodity and Martin Buday, and I say that very loosely. He's proven that he's fought in the UFC. Doesn't mean he's any good, because he's not. He's 33 years old. He will most likely have the crowd behind him. We have a Russian going against a Brazilian, so we should have the crowd advantage here. His striking's okay. His jiu-jitsu, I think he's a brown belt. He's okay. His wrestling's actually not that great. His cardio's okay, especially for heavyweight. You could say he is high volume to an extent, but he doesn't really like hurt you at all. He's very, very hittable. And he just kind of plots forward and clinches you. That's really all he does. He can't strike at distance. He can't really wrestle. He just grabs a clinch, holds you against a cage, and has no intention on taking you down. He grabs a clinch to do body work and to hold you and to just lay on you. That's all he does. It's the most boring fight style I've ever seen in my life. And it makes it really, really hard to judge. He's gone to split decisions before, a lot of even the last fight, close decision against a short notice light heavyweight. Andrei Arlovski was a split decision. Lucas Bresky was a split decision. Yeah, man, if he's not going out there and you're an absolute bum, he goes out there and he fights too close. Jake Collier is a former 185 pounder, close decision. Um, yeah, man, it's very, very weird. He almost took Chris Barnett to a decision. That's how kind of just unassuming he is. On the other side, we have the opposite. We have a violent guy in Buchecha. Buchecha's making his UFC debut, but he does have some MMA experience. He's only 5-1, so only 6 pro fights. But he fought over at one championship, which is a good promotion where RDR, the headliner, was previously. And he's also just known in the jiu-jitsu world. Like he's a very, very accredited jiu-jitsu practitioner, BJJ black belt to the degree. He has a 3-inch reach advantage in this matchup. But he knows where his bread is buttered. He wants this fight down to the ground where he can submit you. Great world-class BJJ. His striking, he's not a fish out of water. He knows what's going on the feet, and he throws with some bad intent. I'd definitely say he throws harder and more violent than Boudet does. His cardio, he does slow down a little bit, but he can go 15 minutes. He can survive. Um, He'll pull guard, which is extremely weird at heavyweight. I'm a little concerning pulling a like 265-pound man on top of you, but he's that confident on the ground. He kind of reminds me of like a heavyweight RDR, to be honest with you. He's not the greatest on the feet, but he's willing to throw. He's real good on the ground, and his wrestling is just kind of so-so. He's pretty hittable, although when he's on the feet, he is pretty hittable, so you have to be wary of that. But he seems to be able to take the punch as well. Yeah, man, he's not a terrible fighter. I just hate that he's making his UFC debut at 35. He's not a prospect at all. But I think he's enough to get the job done against Buday. Do I want to trust a guy going overseas on his UFC debut? No, it sounds like a trap, and that's one you should probably stay away from. My degenerate self isn't going to be able to stay away though. So the pick is going to be Buchecha. The bet is going to be Buchecha. Next fight of the night is another one you need to stay far away from. We have Muhammad Yahya at plus 270 going against Stephen Wynn at minus 320. Over under set at 1.5. Over 1.5 is minus 200. Under 1.5 is plus 160. Let's start with Stephen Wynn. He's something, man. Stephen Wynn is 32 years old, so he's not a prospect either. He has good striking. He throws a ton of volume. And that's about it. That's all that happens there. He doesn't hit particularly hard. He does not carry a lot of KO power. He's kind of hittable on his feet himself. And he doesn't get knocked out all the time. I think he's only been knocked out once in his career. But you can't chin check him. You can rock him from time to time because he just thinks striking defense is optional. Takedown defense is fine at 84%, but I mean that was AJ Cunningham trying to take him down. And Darnell Aaron's his wrestling, he'll try to sprinkle in a takedown here and there, but that's not his intent. He really just wants to stand and box with you. I mean, he's kind of like a point fighter from a boxing position. He likes to pressure forward and his cardio checks out. But again, he's literally just a boxer that pressures forward, takes one to give one. And just tries to out volume you because he doesn't hit too hard. That is not going to be a good fight style in the UFC, and I don't think he's long for the UFC. I don't really see him getting a lot of UFC wins outside of Saturday because he's fighting Muhammad Yahya, who I claimed is the worst fighter in the UFC currently. He's 12-5, former UAE champion, 31 years old, so he's younger by a year, and who will definitely have the crowd behind him. That is great. That's his best attribute is the crowd being behind him. I mean, his striking's not that good. He hits decently hard, but he's not too technical and he's very hittable. He's kind of chinny. I've seen him chin checked on multiple occasions and he got knocked out in his last fight. His jiu-jitsu's not great. He's been submitted before. His wrestling's terrible. 42% takedown defense, and he got taken down 4 times by Trevor Peak. You can't unsee that. I will never be able to unsee Trevor Peak putting on a singlet and looking like Jordan Burroughs out there against this guy. And that was in his hometown. He does back up in a lot of his fights. He doesn't really pressure forward, and Stephen Wynn is a pressure boxer, so optically it's not going to look great as he's backing up the whole time. He does not throw a lot of volume. He prefers to counter. He's a counter striker, and Stephen Wynn throws a ton of volume, so he'll give him stuff to counter. But I don't know, man. This guy is just not good. He doesn't throw enough. He doesn't throw too hard to where Stephen Wynn should go out. And he's going to get out volumed and just drowned out there. So I don't like Stephen Wynn. I don't trust Stephen Wynn. I don't want to bet Stephen Wynn. But gun to my head, if you're asking me who I'm picking, it is 100% Stephen Wynn. And you're asking me who I'm betting. A lot of people are saying dog or pass. I can't trust this guy. Yeah. It would end up being favorite or pass, but please do not throw Stephen Wynn in a lot of your parlays. You're playing with fire. Next fight of the night. More just insanity. We have Ebo Aslan at minus 265 going against Billy Elancana at plus 215. Over under set at 1.5. Over 1.5 minus 105. Under 1.5 at minus 125. Over under is set at 1.5 because of Ebo Aslan, hands down. Ibo Aslan is a berserker. He's 29 years old. He's Turkish and should have the crowd behind him. He has good striking and a ton of power. The dude, he looks jacked. I mean, he's one of these guys that play the part. Exactly how they look is exactly how they are. On all the sauce has been popped for steroids before. 83% takedown defense. So he's not a great offensive wrestler, but he has a good sprawl and brawl style. A ton of pressure. And that's where the positives end. He has no cardio whatsoever. He will gas out. He has no jujitsu whatsoever. Has no idea what's going on the ground. Doesn't mix in his wrestling and hasn't really fought anyone good. His best win is probably the Pleasure Man, Anton Curly. And that's not a good look, honestly. Rafael Sequeira is god awful. Paulo Renato Jr. is like a middleweight, and that was on Contender Series. And the rest of these guys have losing records. So Yeah, man, not the greatest fighter in the world. If you put a scrub in front of him, look at the guy, he's jacked, he's gonna put you out. If you give him anyone good, he is in some serious trouble. On the other side, we have Billy Elancana, and I truly don't know if he's good or not. He's 30 years old. Instead of one championship, he's coming over from the PFL, or was it Bellator? One of the two. They're the same thing now. PF Bellator, I'll say he's coming over from. He had a UFC fight on short notice against Bogdan Guskov, and it didn't go well. I'll be honest with you. I'll cut him a little bit of slack considering he took it on a week's notice. He's predominantly a striker. His wrestling's not the greatest. He also tries to kind of sprawl and brawl, so it's interesting that he's going to want to be on the feet with Ebo. His jiu-jitsu's okay. He has a few sub wins on his record, but he's predominantly kind of like although he has some knockouts, he fights real long. He's a very long, lanky, distant striker. That's what he is. The problem I have with him is that his cardio has looked good and it's looked bad. Again, I'm gonna cut him a little slack, taking the fight on a week's notice against Guskov, but God, he gassed out in that fight. It did not look good whatsoever. And his level of competition isn't the greatest. I know Ebo's level of competition isn't good either, so it kind of cancels out in all honesty. But neither one of these guys are UFC. And his optics, whenever he gets hit, he really shells up and it does not look good. And it's very scary to watch in regards to the judges giving him any sort of nod when he reacts that way. So I was kind of on the Billy side, thinking it was dog or pass because Ebo's not someone I will ever trust at like minus 300. But seeing the way Billy shells up, I can't unsee it in a crowd that's going to be pro Ebo. So the pick is going to be Ebo Aslan. The bet is going to be Ebo Aslan, but I don't feel good about that one either. God, next fight of the night. We have the first women's matchup of the night. It might be the only, in all honesty. We have Amanda Hebos at minus 185 going up against Tabitha Ricci at plus 155. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 475. Under 2.5 plus 325. Let's start with the hot one, which is both of them in this matchup. The UFC loves both of these girls. These are two that they try to market for obvious reasons. So the UFC probably doesn't care who wins this fight because it's going to be a cash cow regardless. So let's just start with Amanda Ribas, and she's first over here. They're both Brazilian. So at that juncture, she is 31 years old. She'll have a 5-inch reach advantage. She has good jujitsu. She has good wrestling. Her striking's okay. It's very herky jerky. I always call her like the female Tim Elliott. It's very hard to predict and or duplicate or mirror as they're trying to train. Because I don't think Amanda knows what she's doing next. It's one of those like never let the person know your next move in striking form because she doesn't fucking know what she's doing out there. But she hits decently hard, and she makes it work for her. She's fought a really good level of competition, fighting former champions like Rose Namajunas, beating people like Viviana Araujo, beating people like, or losing or fighting, beating and losing to Mackenzie Dern, Macy Barber. Like these are good. Caitlin, at short notice, going up a weight class and fighting Caitlin Chikagian or Seminara, which what have you. She's a good fighter, man. She has 83% takedown defense. She spends some time at 125. She said 115 is a tough weight cut for her, but she generally makes it. And she's big and she's strong and she's powerful when she's there. The problem I have with this girl is her chin. She gets rocked in round two of seemingly every single fight. I saw it in the freaking Arujo fight. She got rocked round two. Verna rocked her badly, and Verna's also a very good fighter. Marina Rodriguez knocked her out round two. Macy Barber knocked her out round two. Luana Pinheiro dropped her round two. Rose Namajunas and Mackenzie, they did not drop her. But I don't know what happens when she goes to her corner after the first round that says stick your chin. I don't know if they're telling her stick your chin out, put your hands down and see if you can take one. Like I have no idea why she gets dropped in every single round too. But it's a little concerning because she's been put out a few times. So she has the whole package. She has decent cardio. Problem with her is her striking's a little wish-washy and she has a bad chin. On the other side, we have Tabitha Ricci, who is seemingly the same thing, just more technical. She's a 30-year-old Brazilian, so they're almost even the same age. She has good jujitsu. She has okay striking. She has okay wrestling. 81% takedown defense, so the numbers are pretty similar there. Her cardio was bad, but she's addressed it and it's looked a lot better as of late. And she's also been dating, I cannot think of his name for the life of me, but one of these guys that the UFC sponsors, one of these boxers that they sponsor. So she had a little bit of hype around her just because she's affiliated with him. She is her hands have gotten much better. And I think he kind of got in her head a little bit to where she's only boxing. She went out there and really didn't shoot takedowns against Angela Hill. She just went out there and boxed with her. She went out there and tried to box with Yan Janan, realized that was not going to go well. Tried to sprinkle takedowns, but by then it was too late. Tisha Pennington, she did a lot of boxing. Lupi Gomez, she did a lot of boxing. Like you can just see where before she was just a take you down. She's a baby shark. She'll take you down and she'll submit you, or she'll take you down and she'll just hold you. Then she started dating that Irish boxer, and now all of a sudden she's throwing hands. It's good for her that she now has an extra tool in the box, but I don't need her to forget her roots and where she came from because that is her main martial art is that jujitsu. She's pretty hittable when she is on the feet. Her cardio, again, it's looked bad. It's looked good as of late, so we'll see. I just don't like the amount that she's boxing now. It really does scare me. I think Hebas is the more pressure fighter, and she will probably initiate those takedowns. She's the bigger girl, physically stronger girl. She's fought the better level of competition. For that reason, I'm going to take Hebas, and I think that fight is appropriately lined, to be honest with you. Tabitha doesn't have a ton of KO power, so I don't know if Amanda has to have a problem in round two. And with that, I'll go ahead and I'll pick Amanda. The pick is going to be Hebas. The bet is going to be Hebas. Next fight of the night, we have Damon Blackshear at minus 305 going up against Dangerous Davy Grant at plus 245. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 145. Under 2.5 at plus 115. Let's start with Damon Blackshear. Damon Blackshear is someone I backed a lot and someone I like a lot. I think he's good. He's 30 years old, so he's in his prime. He has a 3-inch reach advantage, which is nice. He has good jiu-jitsu. He has okay striking. He has okay wrestling to get it down to the ground. His cardio, it's looked good and it's looked bad. It's another one of these where it depends on how they fight and who they're fighting. My problem is he can be chin checked. I've seen him dropped on more than one occasion, and of course there was the infamous Montel Jackson KO in like 10 seconds that did not look great. 18 seconds he lasted with Montel Jackson. But then he went out there and he submitted Cody Stamen, which isn't easy. He went out there and submitted Cody Gibson, which isn't easy. Alatang Ali, Ali's a really good wrestler. And they just threw hands the whole 15 minutes, and his cardio, it checked out. He got a little tired, but he didn't completely gas out like we saw in the Zalal fight, like we saw in the Mario Batista fight. He totally gassed out there. Here he was able to go a whole 15 minutes. So Damon Blackshear is a very good fighter. He's very well rounded. Just got to watch that chin and hope that he doesn't gas out because you never know when he's going to have some cardio issues. On the other side, we have a pretty underrated fighter in Davy Grant. Davy Grant's 39 years old. He has good striking. He has sneaky power. His jujitsu has gotten much better. He is, I think he's a black belt now, but he has like reverse. He has that inverted triangle win over Rafael Assunção, which looks really, really good. He throws a ton of volume. 61% takedown defense is the issue, though. You can take this guy down. A lot of people don't want to stand with him. He's very loopy. He's awkward, but he's not herky jerky like we talked about with Hebas. He's just very lungy and loopy. Nothing is usually straight down the pipe, but he makes it work for him. It's a very unique style, and it's very, very hard for some people to deal with. You can chin check him. I've seen him dropped on more than one occasion, so you got to be wary of that. And it's weird because he seemingly, although he has 61% takedown defense, he has a good sprawl on him. He's very good if you try to shoot a double leg. It's body lock takedowns that he has an issue with. If you go upper body, he can take you down. And Damon Blackshear is a good enough wrestler that he has every single takedown in his toolbox. So it gets a little sketchy there. He does have pretty decent urgency to get up. He doesn't just play jujitsu on his back. Um, so it's really going to come down to if this is on the feet, it's Davy Grant. If this is on the ground, it's Damon Blackshear. I generally take the grappler over the wrestler. But Damon Blacksher has been boxing a lot more as of late, just like Tabitha Ricci. And Damon Blacksher can slow at times, and Davy Grant is a pretty urgent get up game. So if he has to continually take him down, he will get Damon will gas out. And for that reason, at plus 245, they're forcing my hand. The pick is Blackshear, but this is a dogger pass situation to where I'm gonna end up betting Davy Grant. I know I'll have a bet on Davy Grant. 39 years old though, so be careful. Next fight of the night. I see you're 39 years old and I raise you a 41 in Muslim Solikov at plus 340, going up against Carlos Leal at minus 440. Over under set at 1.5. Over 1.5 is minus 145. Under 1.5 at plus 115. Let's start with old man Muslim. Muslim is going to have the crowd behind him, so that's a benefit here. But again, he's 41 years old. He has good striking, decent power on him. He has sneaky good wrestling, and he'll mix in a takedown here and there. But he's 41 years old. His chin is gone. His cardio is gone. His power is still there, but his volume is gone. 72% takedown defense is a good number. But Carlos is probably going to go out there and want to strike with him. Yeah, man, this kind of reminds me, this fight, which fight was it? It kind of reminds me of the Santiago Ponzinibbio fight. Santiago fights just like Carlos Leal, and Muslim went out there and he lost that fight against Santiago. Oh no, he won. He won a split decision against Santiago. But that was Santiago's like 36, 37 years old. Carlos is only 31. So we have a younger, harder hitting Santiago Ponzinibbio. So in this case, and Muslim's just older at this point. Carlos is 31. He has good striking. He has good jiu-jitsu. He has 90% takedown defense, and that's going to be an important number. He'll dictate where this fight takes place. He throws a ton of volume and loves to pressure. His cardio's okay. It's not good, it's not bad, but he can go hard for 15 minutes. He'll sprinkle in some takedowns himself, which is nice, especially in this matchup, because I can kind of see Muslim getting defeated and like just mentally breaking as he's getting taken down. His L's are good. He lost to Sabadu C more than once. He got absolutely screwed in Saudi Arabia by Renat Fakhretdinov. Otherwise, yeah, these guys he lost to recently in the last like 10 years are not bad at all. He went out there and absolutely killed Alex Morono as he was supposed to do. And Alex Morono is an aging vet with a chin that's deteriorating, and that's exactly what we have in Muslim Solikov here. Now, Muslim has a lot more firepower coming back than Alex Morono did. Hey, Carlos does lean head first with his hands down sometimes, so he has to be careful of that. But Carlos Leal is just in 2025 the better fighter. 5, 6 years ago, I'm betting Muslim. Here, I'm probably taking Carlos. So the pick is going to be Carlos Leal. The bet is Carlos Leal. I think the minus 440 is justified. Next fight of the night, we have a 135-pound debut for Bryce Thug Nasty Mitchell at minus 125, going up against Saeed Nurmagomedov at plus 105. Over under set 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 145. Under 2.5 at plus 115. I've gone back and forth with this matchup. This one is weird. Well, let's start with Bryce Mitchell again. He's never fought at 135, but he's always said he's felt like he should have been there the whole time. He's 30 years old. He has great jiu-jitsu. He has good wrestling. His striking's underrated. It's really not that bad. And his losses are really, really good. I mean, when you look at him, he has 3 career losses. He lost to the current champ, Ilia Topuria. He lost to Gene Silva, who's close to fighting for a title, and he lost to Josh Emmett, who has fought for a title. That's it. Those are his 3 losses. All of those guys, John Silva, Josh Emmett, top 10 guys at 145. Ilia Topuria, former 145 champ, current 155 pound champ. So, yeah, Bryce Mitchell is nothing to be concerned about. The things he should be scared of, though, are his chin. He can be chin checked. He's been dropped on more than one occasion, and he's been put out pretty badly before. His cardio also, he does have a tendency to slow down in some of his fights. Even in that Gene Silva fight, he had to wrestle a lot to where he got super tired and eventually got caught in a ninja choke. He's been tired and choked on multiple occasions, so you do have to be same with Taporia. He actually won a round off Taporia, and then gassed out and got choked out in the second round. So he does this. You just got to be careful. If he's dominating you and he can get the takedown, throw in that body triangle and just stay on you, awesome. If you get back up or you can't get or he can't get you down, he does gas out and it's a thing. And you can chin check him. So he's a great fighter. He just has a cardio and chin issue, which are a little concerning. On the other side, we have Saeed Nurmagomedov. Nurmagomedov is 33 years old. He's the Russian here, so he'll have the crowd behind him. He has good striking. He has good jiu-jitsu. He has sneaky good wrestling. It's okay. It's not bad. 62% takedown defense, so the defense is concerning. Offensively, he can sprinkle in a takedown. The problem I have with Saeed is it's not his durability or anything like that. He's very tall. He's very lanky. He's very fast. His cardio. He slows down all the time as well. He lost his last fight against Lockdog because he gassed out. He dominated round one and then he lost two and three being tired. Jonathan Martinez was a weird fight. He got a whole bunch of takedowns. I thought he got screwed. I thought he won that decision. But I had money on Martinez, so no comment there. Hani Barcelos was able to just out grapple him as well. So he gets tired. He gets very tired when he has to wrestle a lot, or if you're wrestling him a lot. And that's the key. That's how you beat this guy. But be careful because if you try to just go out there and out wrestle him, he will snatch up your neck. He has these really long, lanky arms, and guillotines and ninja chokes are like second nature to him. Muin Gaffarov, he snatched up that neck real early. Cody Stamen snatched up that neck real early. My guy, Sayudjakub Kankramanov, dominated him for 2 rounds and then he snatched his neck up and guillotined him as well. Yeah, that is the best submission he has. These little guillotines and ninja chokes. He locks that bad boy in and you are toast. What does Bryce Mitchell do when he gets tired? Sticks his neck out and he gets guillotined all the time. So for that reason, I'm gonna pick Thug Nasty. I think Thug. I think that he could win this fight. He should win this fight, but because I've never seen him at 135, and because he has a tendency to stick his neck out there, I can't bet him. I'll probably end up betting Saeed Nurmagomedov and praying for a submission, thinking that he snatches that neck too. Just another one to collect. Next fight of the night, we have Nikita Krylov at minus 180 going up against Bogdan Guskov at plus 150. Over under set at 1.5. Over 1.5 plus 120. Under 1.5 at minus 155. Let's start with Nikita Krylov. Nikita Krylov is weird, man. Nikita Krylov is an under king. He is 33 years old. He has a 1.5 inch reach advantage. He has good jiu-jitsu. He has okay striking. He has okay wrestling. His level of competition is pretty good. He has okay power. Like he has everything. He has the wrestling, the striking, the jiu-jitsu. Things he's missing. Cardio. It's a common theme on this card. Dude gets tired, and he gets tired fast. In the chin, as of late. He's been rocked or dropped in a ton of his recent fights. Last fight, he got countered and taken out by Dom Reyes. Now, Dom Reyes hits hard, so that's okay. But that Ryan Spann win, he got dropped. Volkan Ozdemir, he got dropped. Johnny Walker, he won, but he got dropped. Like he gets dropped all the time. He doesn't always go out. Usually he gets tired and then you finish him. But he can go out. And his chin has just been getting worse and worse and worse. 33 years old, but he fights like an absolute madman. So in fight years, he's really 40. So just he scares me. He can finish you at any point, and he can go out at any point. I know he's from Ukraine, but he's a Russian apologist, and the Russian crowd is going to be hot for Krylov. He essentially said, "Forget Ukraine, I am on Russia's side," and they are going to be in love with Nikita Krylov. On the other side, we have Bogdan Guskov, as we're not talking politics. Guskov is 32 years old. He has okay striking. He has decent power on him. His jiu-jitsu on paper is a black belt, but I'm not really impressed by his jiu-jitsu, to be honest with you. I mean, he got tapped out by Volkan Ozdemir, and that will always be there, so yikes. His cardio's trash. His level of competition's trash. And he's rocking a 57% takedown defense. So this guy has fraud written all over him. He can hit you hard, but he's beaten all people with no winning records. And in the UFC, he beat the aforementioned Billy Alacana on 1 week notice. He beat Ryan Spann, who is a gas bag. He beat Zach Puaga, who has the worst chin in UFC history, basically. That's it. So a short notice, a guy with no cardio and a guy with no chin. He fought Vulcan, who has all of those things, and he got decimated in 1 round, and he gassed out. So I'm just not a goose golf guy. Do I think he's live here? Yeah, because he hits hard, and Krylov is goddamn hittable and has no chin. But just in regards to a pure talent base, Krylov is the better fighter. I can't go either way here. Right now, I'll go ahead. I'll pick Krylov. I'll say the bet is Krylov, or honestly, the under 1.5 is the safest route. Under 1.5 minus 155. This ain't going long. Bet that. The pick is Krylov. The bet is under 1.5 and protect yourself. Next fight of the night. It's a good one. We have a Sue Almabayev at minus 120 going up against Jose Ochoa at plus 100. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 190. Under 2.5 at plus 145. Let's start with uh let's start with Asu Almabayev. Asu's weird, man. Asu is a good grappler. He's gonna have the crowd here. He's 31 years old. He has good jiu-jitsu. He has good wrestling. His striking's good. It's okay. It's just very, very low volume. His cardio's okay, but he can slow down a little bit. He's just another one of these guys that have bad optics. He does not like getting hit whatsoever. So you do have to be wary of that going with everything. His level of competition's all right for a regional scene. But in the UFC, I mean, Jose Johnson's not the greatest. He fought Minnow Cop in eye poke gate. Like he got eye poked and it ended up being a TKO. It was interesting. Mateus Nicolau is good, but he has no chin and he's the only guy to take him to decision, so that's weird. CJ Vergara is okay. Ode Osborne's okay. He beats a lot of okay guys. They gave him one step up and he got poked in the eye and finished. So um, I don't know. It's very, very peculiar what to think of as Sue Almabayev. He could potentially be really good. He could potentially be a fraud, in all honesty. I'm not really certain. On the other side, give me 1 second. Some craziness going on upstairs. Otherwise, back to what we were saying. Let's go back to the share. Outside of Sue Almabayev, we have Jose Ochoa coming in on short notice and stepping up. I love this kid. Jose Ochoa is only 24 years old. He has a 2-inch reach advantage. He has really good striking. He has good jiu-jitsu. His wrestling leaves a little to be desired, but it's okay. He trains at a shoot to box, and they all fight the same way. They're all the exact same thing. Power hitters, great grapplers, wrestling obsolete. Can do it if they want to, but generally just try to put your lights out. Very hittable in that pure shoot to box style, but very, very aggressive and forward plotting as well. Asu backs up a ton, and it's really weird optically. So to have Ochoa being the one pressing the matter going forward will look good for him. He has good cardio. He's only 24 years old, and he throws a with pretty decent volume as well, pretty high volume. I don't like that he just fought a month ago, but I do like that he didn't take a ton of damage. Cody Durden did wobble him once or twice, but it wasn't anything too concerning. And then he put him out relatively early in the second. It was like in the first 5 seconds of the second round. So the dude realistically only fought for 5 minutes about a month ago. And he's 24, so you see guys like Josh Van that are super young and active. You can do that when you're young. So I'm not overly concerned about Ochoa just fighting. All in all, Asu is a big step up for Ochoa, especially Asu going to be able to take him down and try to submit him. He submits a lot of people in round two. We talked about Hebus getting KO'd in round two. Asu gets submissions in round two all the time. But Ochoa trains at shoots a box. He's good on the ground, and I don't think that's going to be a major concern. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and say this is a dogger pass situation, and that leans the way of Jose Ochoa. So the pick is going to be Ochoa, and the bet is going to end up being Ochoa. Next fight of the night, we have the pride and joy of Abu Dhabi. We have Shara Magomedov at minus 625 going up against Mark Andre Barrio. Power bar at plus 455. Over under set at 1.5. Is it 1.5? 1.5. Wow. Over 1.5 minus 165. Under 1.5 at plus 130. Let's start with Shara Bullet Magomedov. Shara is 31 years old. He has good striking. He has a ton of volume. He has sneaky good cardio, and obviously will have the crowd behind him. And that's about it. He has okay power, but he's not knocking everyone out. His jujitsu's ass. His wrestling's trash. Not a lot of good things on the grappling front. He's working at it. He's getting better, but he's relatively green. He took a big hiatus after he lost his eye. But outside of that, he's just a very, very kick-heavy, fun, exciting guy that the crowd gets behind each and every time. They absolutely love this guy. But 72% takedown defense when you're fighting Michael Venom Page and Armin Petrosian and Michael Oli and Jay Chuck, like just not a good look. Not a good Bruno Silva, not a good look at all. 72% takedown defense against non-wrestlers. If he fights a wrestler, he's in trouble. Marc Andre Barrio, not really a wrestler. He can mix it in here and there if he wants to, but he's not the greatest. He has okay striking. He's just naming the game pressure forward and out volume you. The dude throws a ton of volume. His cardio's good. His jujitsu's good. It's okay. It's okay. He knows what's going on the ground. The problem with him is that he's very, very hittable. And that with him being 35, the older he's getting very, very chinny. And he's getting rocked, dropped, or even put out in a lot of his fights as of late. He got knocked down badly by Julian Marquez, which isn't a good look. He got knocked out in a minute by Joe Pyfer, not a good look. He got knocked out in the first round by Dustin Stolfus. Awful look. Like all of these are really, really, really bad. And his win against Bruno Silva just didn't want to be there anymore. He went out on a stretcher, said he doesn't want to fight. They made him fight anyway, and he went out on a stretcher. So not really the most accredited win there. So he hasn't really had a decent win since he beat Eric Anders 2 years ago. So yeah, he's definitely a fading fighter. My thing though is Bruno Silva took Shara down 3 times. Michael Oli and Chachuk took him down 3 times. Um, they can sprinkle in a takedown. They don't know what jujitsu is. Mark does. He's not the greatest jiu-jitsu practitioner, but he knows he's a black belt. He knows what's going on down there. So is he just going to take Shara down and try to submit him? He might. If he stands with Shara, he's going to get KO'd. That's what it comes down to. He's too old. He's too slow. He's too hittable. And I think that's what the UFC is trying to set up. So I agree with Shara being the favorite. I think he wins. I just don't like him being minus 625. That's terrible. Because if Andre gets him down, Shara's so bad on the ground. It's really bad. So that's very, very concerning. So the pick is going to be Shara Bullet. He should win. The bet, I'll probably look at like a alt under 2.5. It's probably the way I'll lean or fight not to go the distance. I don't really want to pick a side because Mark can catch him down on the ground and Shara can definitely catch Mark on the feet. So I'll probably just end up betting fight doesn't go the distance and just hoping for violence. Pick a Shara, bet his fight doesn't go the distance. Next fight of the night, we have our co-main event of the evening. We have Peter Yan at minus 380 going up against Marcus McGee at plus 300. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 345. Under 2.5 at plus 250. Let's start with Peter Yan. He's definitely going to have the crowd behind him. He is somehow, we talked about how Max Holloway was only 33 in last week's card. Somehow Peter Yan's only 32. He's been like champ multiple times for years. And somehow he's still only 32 in his prime. He has really good striking. He has okay wrestling. He has okay jiu-jitsu. He'll mix in a takedown here and there if need be, but he throws a ton of volume, has great cardio. Again, we'll have the crowd behind him. No, he has a great level of competition. Again, former champ. Why is Nikita Krylov on my screen? That's not who I'm looking up. Only problem I have with Peter Yan is that he's a very slow starter and he perpetually loses the first round. He loses the first round all the fucking time. He likes to sit there, download, not really throw a ton, and then just kind of like figure you out and then go crazy round 2 through 5 or three, whatever type of fight he's in. That works in championship fights where he has 25 minutes to play with. Intentionally losing round one is very, very scary in a 3 round fight. You could give away round one, you can just get cracked or dropped with something somewhere along the way in a different round, and you lost the fight. Like it's a dangerous game he plays with that analyzing. I love Peter Yan in 5 round fights. I never, ever like betting Peter Yan in 3 round fights because he gives away that first round all the fucking time. On the other side, we have Marcus McGee. Marcus is 35 years old. He's actually has less fights, but is the younger guy, or sorry, the older guy. He's a 2 inch reach advantage. He throws a ton of volume himself. He has good striking. His jujitsu's okay. His wrestling's not the greatest, but I don't think these two are really going to wrestle. And he trains out of MMA Lab. The reason that's significant is because Sean O'Malley, Mario Batista, Kyler Phillips, we just saw last week, all train out of the lab and they all train at 135. Even guys you don't remember, like Casey Kenny, like they have at one point they had like all of the top 10 in the same gym at 135. It's insane. A really, really, really good gym, especially to be at that weight class. He's rocking 100% takedown defense, which may be irrelevant here. But he has good cardio. He can go a hard 15 minutes as well. He's very, very tough. He's very, very good. But his level of competition, good Lord. Peter Yan is beating Corey Sandhagen and fighting Marab and fighting and beating God, what is the kid? I don't know why it's named it Song Yadong. Like those are top tier championship level fighters. Marcus McGee is beating Gaston Bolanos and JP Bays and Journey Newsom. His best win is Jonathan Martinez. Jonathan's an okay fighter, but he's nothing to write home about. He's a top like 15 guy. Peter Yan is like the number 1 guy. So at that juncture, it might be a little too much for Marcus McGee. I anticipate it being too much for Marcus McGee, and it's a road game. The crowd is going to be fully behind Peter Yan. So for that, I think he's pretty safe. The pick is going to be Peter Yan. The bet is going to be Peter Yan. Minus 380 is gross, but it's justified. Next fight of the night is our main event of the evening. If you haven't already, make sure you smash the like button, give a follow over on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, wherever there's social media. There's a Stats and Stacks podcast. We have Robert the Reaper Whittaker at minus 155 going up against Reynard J. Ritter at plus 130, which is say RDR. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 130. Under 2.5 at plus 100. Let's start with the former champion, Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker is a good striker. He's an okay jiu-jitsu practitioner. He's a decent wrestler. He has really good cardio, sneaky good power, really good volume, 81% takedown defense. Everything is good about this guy. The problem I have with Robert Whittaker is twofold. First and foremost, former 170 pounder. So he's not the biggest guy in the world. And he realized, you know what, my chin, I've been chin checked and I've been knocked out. I think I'm cutting too much weight. I think I have to go up to 185. And he won a ton of fights at 185. He won the belt at 185. He's a really, really, and defended his belt at 185. Like a really, really good fighter. But he's been chin checked again in other fights. He got chin checked in the Paulo Costa fight. He got chin checked in the Israel Adesanya fight. He got knocked out and chin checked in the second one. He's been chin checked in, let's see. I don't think Cannonier caught him. The Gaslam fight caught him too. Yeah, he just gets rocked. The Yoel Romero fight, like he gets rocked all the fucking time. The DDP fight, he got chin checked there too. Yeah, it's gonna show that he just lost. Oh, it says jab to punch it, so it shows it in there. Yeah, he got knocked out by a jab. Like this guy's chin, he can dish it out. He really has trouble taking the punch. They're just too big at 185, and at 170, he was saying he was too drained and he's getting knocked out because he's too tired. So if there is a middle ground, there's 15 pounds in between. Most of the time, there's 10 pounds in between weight classes. If there is a middle ground, Robert Whittaker would be unstoppable. But he's 34 years old. His chin's not going to get any better, and there is no middle ground. So he's got to go 185, and you just got to pray he keeps that chin tucked. Chin tucked. Good news is he's fighting RDR. RDR is also 34 years old. He has a 5 inch reach advantage and is massive. A former 170 pounder going against a former 205er. So that's concerning. But RDR is really, really, really good jujitsu. He's a BJJ guy. He is not a knockout artist. I know his last fight came via knockout over Bo Nickel. But Bo isn't the most accredited striker in the world, so take that with a grain of salt. RDR is okay wrestling, but he doesn't have Hamzat level wrestling to get Robert Whittaker down at will. Um, he also is not the world's greatest striker. He himself slows down in his fights. He does get very, very tired. So this 5 rounder is definitely an advantage Bobby Knuckles. And his chin, he can get chin checked, and he's very, very hittable when he's on the feet. He likes to just kind of grab you, get a hold of you, and try to drag you down to the ground. If he can't, he has some pretty decent clinch work. I'll give him that. Body, knees, grabbing you and elbowing you from the clinch. He just likes to be more physically imposing, and he will be against Robert Whittaker. But Whittaker's really good at keeping the distance. He's a really good distance striker, and he blitzes in and out. And I think he's going to have an absolute field day with RDR. RDR could catch him at any point because, again, Rob doesn't have a good chin. If RDR gets him down to the ground, he's going to be a much bigger guy than Robert Whittaker. He might be able to submit him in all honesty. But he has to get it there. And Robert's very, very hard to catch. Again, 81% takedown defense and fast as fuck. There's going to be a noticeable speed difference here. And RDR gets tired. So this has Whittaker written all over it. The pick is going to be the Reaper Robert Whittaker. The bet is Robert Whittaker, and I think he might be entering lock territory. And that's UFC Abu Dhabi. It's a fun card. It's at noon. We didn't have the greatest card last week, so we're looking to bounce back and make some money. Let's get after it.